sorry not coming to you guys live today, but I have a really cool tutorial to show you. I'm going to finish off some of that Eat, Pray, Love from my recipe album that I showed you using that paper pack, and I'm going to come in. You are going to want some embellishments. So I'm just using some of those die cuts from my last video, you know, when I made a whole bunch. I'm using some twine that I have on hand. I've got 2 photo mats that are 4x6. I've got some cut aparts here. I've created a little title that says Create Memories. I've got a 12x12 scrapbook page, which will be my base, and you can easily duplicate this into a double layout. So I'm just doing one today, and then I have 4 pieces of cardstock and pattern paper that are 5.5 by 5.5. So we're going to take all of these and we're going to cut them in half diagonally. So that's the part I saved for on camera. So I'm just going to use my little guide here and make sure it's good. And I'm going to cut all of these apart diagonally. I hope you love this. It's super fast. It's a great way to use up a paper pack, and honestly, by the time we're done with this, you guys will have 4 or 5 single layouts or 2 double layouts left over from this paper pack from the recipe album. Bonus, right? And just be careful, like if you're doing this and you have wording or something like that, your images are going to be flopped around. So if you're okay with cherries being upside down, then shoot for it. If you're not okay with wording being upside down, you might want to pick a different pattern paper to use. You could do this with 2 cardstock pieces too. That doesn't have to be pattern paper. So I know there are a few people out there who are not pattern papered people, so keep that in mind. These videos are suggestions, right? You don't have to do what I do. It's just a starting point for you. That's the whole point of these, is to give you a really awesome starting point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some squares. Starting down here, I'm going to do a dry run. I'm not going to give you any measurements just yet, right? Because we're doing a dry run, and then I'll tell you what your spacing should be. So we're going to go all the way around. Guys, this is such a fun little thing to do. It's a great way to break up that busy paper that you might have. So keep that in mind. Look, can you see what's happening? I know you can see what's happening. Look at how cute this is. I think that's the only one that's going to end up like that, but I don't want it to end up like that. Let's see. Let me think about this for a second. See, I just had to play. That's why we do dry run. All right, so now that you have your squares, or I have all my squares together, like so, they should all be touching in the center. I'm just sort of evening them out so I can give you some border spacing. You could do any neutral paper that matches your pattern or cardstock, right? So this would be really pretty as a rainbow layout. So if you wanted to dig into your scraps and do a rainbow, like just each one of these could be a different color of the rainbow, and your pattern paper, your base page could be neutral black, daisy, white daisy, even French vanilla would be a really pretty a really pretty look, honestly. So there we have that. So we're aiming for just about a 1/2 inch border around the sides. Okay, so if you're someone that can't eyeball it and it has to be dead on, about a 1/2 inch is what you're looking for. And I can just grab my ruler really quick and just make sure that I'm telling you exactly correct. Yeah, about a 1/2 inch is what you're looking for. So now you have this all like this. Again, I'm just going to do a dry run. You have your little 4x6 photo. It goes here. I'm going to use 2 because I really loved how that turned out last week when I did that. I've got my little title down here and all of my little cutouts and embellishments that I can throw on. That's the gist of what we're doing, okay? So if you want to stop here and go do your stuff, you can. The rest of this is going to be assembly. So now that I've got my dry run down and I know what I've got going and I have an idea, I'm going to start adhering my things down. So I picked, oh my gosh, I love it when that happens. I picked this really fun cherry pattern paper because candy apple is one of my favorite reds that we have. Again, I'm just going to eyeball this. I am not going to measure. I'm going to sort of look for about a 1/2 inch, right? And sort of call it a day. This isn't straight. There we go. And it might be off a hair and it might be dead on. It's going to be okay. Remember the cardstock that we have is two-toned. And the stamp set that I'm using today is on sale this whole entire month, right? So I am using the Eat, Pray, Love Scrapbooking Thin Cut Stamp Set. And it is on sale the whole month long. I don't remember what the price is off the top of my head. I should have looked it up, but we're here to learn about how to put this layout together. So that's what we're going to focus on. So I'm just putting these down. Isn't it cute? I like this. This is a very cool alternative to the famous and very popular Starburst or Sunburst, depending on who you are and how you want to call it, layout look, right? Because you still get that same sort of thing. And we're going to do another version of this later on this week. So you guys will absolutely positively love that. Also, if you were a part of the 100-day project last year with my really good friend Michelle, then you will know that we are amping up to do another 100-day project. Now, it's going to be a little bit different this year. It will be 100 projects. It will be 100 consecutive days in a row. But it's going to be a little bit more structured. Michelle and I have already played out how things are going to go. We have a website and everything is actually going to be on the website versus Facebook. So you'll be able to log in and check all of that out. You'll be able to have a forum where you can kind of chit chat and things of that nature with each other and or with us. And it is going to be a small fee. It's $1 a day when you sign up. So it's really cool. It's really worth it. So if you signed up for our mailing list, check that out. All right, so now I have this done. Look, I love it because I can sort of change it around. But do you see that little pinwheel / starburst? I love how that kind of played out in there. So now I have my 2 pictures. You could leave this as one, right? Or you can come in and do the 2. And I really, really, really loved that look that we did last week. I already said that twice, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to show you my little tip that I learned a couple years ago or a few years ago. And I just like to take my twine and just make it slightly bigger. Instead of wrapping it all the way around, I just loop it together like you saw me do. I'm going to grab a glue dot and adhere it to the back of my photo mat like that, right? So just stick those in the glue dot, pull that up. I'm going to stick it right down towards the bottom. You could do up on the side. You could do it however you want it. It doesn't have to be at the bottom like I'm doing, right? So there's that. And it just, look at that, isn't that great? I am using repositionable glue dots, if you were wondering. I cut just a tad bit bigger. So that's why I'm able to handle them and they're not like gooping up all over their place. And I'm okay with them being repositionable, right? Because I can just take a tad bit of washi tape. You could use Scotch tape if you don't have washi, right? And I can just put this right on top and it secures it down. But that glue dot helps me put it down in the first place. You could start with washi tape. You don't have to use a glue dot. And here's that. Then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to wrap this around my fingers a couple of times. That's my measurement. Nothing super, super duper special about it. You can go bigger or longer if you want, depending on how you like to tie things. And I'm literally grabbing the ends and I'm going to tie them all together. Okay. Oops. Say now. And of course, if these are too short, which they are kind of short, you can just do it up. I like to do 4 of them. I should have cut it just a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're just going to do it this way and get it done and over with, right? Now my picture is able to slide right under here when I'm done, which is the nice thing about this. And now I'm just going to sort of trim it down. That's why I like doing it longer, because then those would have already been short like that and I wouldn't have wasted it. But there we go. So we have our little photo mat. It's all decorated up. And so we can put another one in here. Right? And this one's going to be probably closer to what I wanted, huh? To do that. Yeah. All right. Of course, if you wanted to do something fun, you could do each one of these individual and kind of do a cross. That would work too. Whatever floats your boat. So just put these on like I did the last one. I'm not really worried about matching these up so that they are in the exact same spot, because they're going to be a little cockeyed. So that doesn't really matter much. Kind of reminded me of a Shania Twain song from back in the day. All right, let me put a little bit of washi tape so it doesn't stick to my project, even though it probably won't. And this is just more of a peace of mind. It's really an extra step that honestly at the end of the day, it's not necessary. It's not going to make or break your project adding the tape. All right, let's see if I cut these long enough to make my little fancy one. Probably not. That's probably still a little too short, but that's okay. I just don't like wasting the extra twine is all. So I just tie a simple knot in there because, you know, it's not holding a boat to the dock, right? It's just making a little pretty cute bow in there. And then I cut the ends. I still didn't get it right, but that's all right. It's going to look good anyways. And then I just cut the little hoops and do a little trimming if I need to, which, because I didn't get it all the way there. Look how cute. I love that. I see. I like it with the bigger and the more because it's just a little bit more fluffier. Really no rhyme or reason. So the reason why I do that is I would have had to wrap that around 3 separate times, and I would have had 3, you know, all the extra back there. So there we go. So I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to go up a little bit higher. I want to hide that little area at the bottom. Oops. They say don't glue on top of your project. I wonder if that's why. Anywho, so here's that. And now I'm just going to kind of, did a little bit of spacing when I did that, right? So when I come in, I still have to slide my picture in. So if I put this down and I've got adhesive on there, I'm not going to be able to slide my picture in without ripping this up. And, so now I can still slide my picture in there and I'm not too worried about all of that. Now, isn't that going to be that's such a cute little layout? I've also got enough room to add in my little die cuts and things like that. So I'm going to come in with my Create Memories. I think I'm going to pop this up with a little bit of foam tape. Let me get another roll out over here. This big chunky. I like the thicker kind, but if you like thin, that works too. The thin actually works really well if you are doing a pocket page. The thin allows you to give a little bit of pop up without it being too thick for it to fit in the pocket page. I don't really do a whole lot. I don't really recommend doing a whole lot of uppity stuff. Okay, so that's going to go about right there. So I want to just remove the adhesive from part of this. So I'm going to get my anti-static pouch. I made a DIY one. And so I just add a little bit of powder, and that's just baby powder cornstarch. And then that removes the sticky from it. And then when I go to stick it down, this side, which is still sticky, is going to hit here, right? But the other side's not going to hit there. And guess what? I can still slide my picture in because I took that stick off, right? So we're going to create memories. Oh, I love that. It's so stinking cute. You guys, that is so stinking cute. I love it. All right. And now I have all of these little things, the little die cuts. I also picked these out. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. I could fussy cut these out. I don't think I'm going to. This would be great to use with our circle thin cuts. There's a beautiful flower. I think I'm okay. I have a whole nother sheet of those, but I think I'm okay. I'm going to stick away from the kitchen theme on this one because I can then use it for outside or gardening or whatever I want it to be. So I'm just going to sort of make a cluster here, and I think I'm going to do a cluster down here. And let's grab in some other pieces of all kinds of sizes to choose from. We'll throw in a little bit of yellow up here. We'll stick this more in the center. How about that? And just sort of play with it. And I might move this around before I actually adhere everything down. There's little wisps everywhere, right? I might move this one out. I recommend you just play with it until it looks really good for you. Because, you know, this isn't going to be, it's not going in my scrapbook, it's going in your scrapbook. So if you are copying this or casing this, as they say, you know, make sure that you don't have to feel like you have to do exactly what that person did in the video, because honestly, it's yours. All right. And I think a little red will be down here. I'm just dry running this. I love to dry run stuff because it gives me flexibility. So there's our little die cuts. I'm okay with these little embellishments in here. All I have to do is add my pictures, and this is going to be a great page to my album. Easily duplicatable to do it as a double layout, right? You could do this as a double layout all day long. Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with that. I think I'm going to do a little bit of journaling just to sort of bring the eye in even more. And just a little right around the edge. And guys, this is going to be quick and easy and done. Right? I'll post a video, I'll post a finished picture so that you can see what's going on and how I do it. And I love giving you just a little bit of a starting point. Okay, this is a starting point. You can do Cricut cuts and you can do all kinds of embellishments. You can come in with extra pieces and tags and stick them behind. But I'm loving that I've just given you a little bit of a starting point to work your magic from there, from what you have in your stash. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye.